Good evening. It is political poison, and it has cost an MLA his place at the cabinet table, or rather the caucus table within the NDP. An MLA from the Central Interior, as A News first reported for you last night at 11 o'clock. The New Democrats spent a restless night dealing with dissent in the opposition ranks. Bob Simpson is the MLA for Cariboo-North, who made a public attack on Carole James' leadership. By the time the legislature was open for business this morning, the word was out that the NDP had kicked him out. But despite the crack in the opposition solidarity, loyalists tonight insist that everything is just fine. Our legislature reporter Carole has the story.
Do you mind if I just ask you about last night's conference call? Were you speaking up for Bob, or did you think he should be kicked out of caucus?
Our leader's a spokesperson on this issue.
Yeah, so nothing you'd like to shed on last night's talks?
NDP caucus members weren't too chatty this morning, but then they had talked into the wee hours discussing the fate of their former caucus colleague, Cariboo-North MLA Bob Simpson.
An immediate intervention.
Until yesterday, he was the NDP's Aboriginal relations critic, now kicked out of the club for publicly criticizing leader Carole James.
Fully two-thirds of British Columbians don't have an opinion of her or believe that she can't be premier, and that's after 7 years as leader.
The catalyst for those comments, James's speech to the Union of BC Municipalities last week.
Well, when it comes to politics in British Columbia, I think we can all agree we definitely do live in interesting times.
Though politely received, it was also perceived as flat, revealing no new policy, no new details of an NDP government's vision, something that caught our attention.
You called on the Premier to make a big move tomorrow. It was a place for you to make some big moves and be specific.
We're 2.5 years away from the election. People will start to see specifics.
It's one thing for a reporter to ask.
We're speaking with the backdrop.
But Simpson was a member of the team, and he expressed his views out loud in public.
It's time for us to say what we would do with those issues, how we would govern, and give people a clear choice in 2013. And that time's now, not in 2013.
It left James with little choice. She cut him loose last night.
And when you criticize the team, you can't be part of it. That's very clear. So it was a clear decision.
Attacking the leader is the biggest no-no in the book of no-nos for party membership.
So a very bad day for Carole James, a difficult day for the party. But is this a one-day story or a sign of things to come?
It can't be a good sign that NDP members in Simpson's hometown want a leadership convention next year.
Her popularity is at 30%, and I think it was constructive criticism what he was saying.
And James's critics are sharpening their knives. They include former leadership candidates.
I think it's an overreaction, incredible overreaction.
And former party organizers.
The results of what happens within the NDP will have a bearing on what happens to them in the next election.
But the leader's loyalists are swinging back, painting Simpson, once a member of the BC Liberal Party, as someone who can't get along with anyone.
It's very obvious that you no longer believe what the team and the leader are doing, and so it's better that you go.
Bob Simpson will sit as an independent, but says he'll remain a member of the party. He is not saying yet if he'll challenge Carole James for leadership of the NDP.
Carole reporting.